So today I'm going to be showing you my entire eyeshadow collection. I will have each of these palettes listed down below in order and links to all the ones that are still available. I do want to let you know I moved through these pretty quickly, so if you have any questions, please feel free to comment them down below. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. So the first palette I have is just a magnetic palette that I got from Amazon, and inside I have different indie singles. So the 4 on the left are Terra Moons, and the 9 on the right are from Glam Shop. And next I have my Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 3 palette. I absolutely love this one. There are 4 iridescent shades in the middle. Those can be used on the face or the eyes, and then there's 5 multi-chromes, 2 sort of gel shadows, a glitter, which I don't use, and just some shimmer shadows. But I absolutely adore this palette, and I'm so happy to have it in my collection. Next, I have the Fire and Ice palette from Nomad Cosmetics. This one is absolutely stunning. This one is inspired by Iceland. Nomad Cosmetics, all of their palettes are inspired by different locations, so pretty cool. I really like that one. And next I have my Blend Bunny palettes. So the first one is the Surge palette. This is actually their second release, but first one I'm showing. This one is more grungy, and there's various rows. There's also one row of shimmers in this one, which is different to their original palette, which is just the Blends palette. So this one is all matte, and it's just like a matte rainbow palette, but this is such good quality and they blend so well. So I really love those palettes. And next we are moving on to Odin's Eye. So I have 3 palettes from Odin's Eye. They're all from the Legendary Diversa collection. So first is Tina from the Fancy Face. She has the Hummingbird palette, which is very colorful. We have the Red Dragon palette by Judy. Such a beautiful neutral palette with some amazing shimmers. And then the Giant Wolves palette from Annette's Makeup Corner. This one is absolutely stunning, especially in person. It was even more beautiful than I expected. Next, I have the Ugly palette from Likely Makeup. This one is so fun, and I just love the name and like the crazy aesthetic of it. I just think it's so fun, and they blend so well. It is a great rainbow palette. I have the Sugar Pill Fun Size palette, and it's so cute, from the heart mirror to the pastels. I just absolutely love that palette. I think it's so cute. And the colors blend so nice, and you can build them or shear them out. I really like that one. Next is Kaleidos. So first palette I have is the Escape Pod palette. This is my absolute favorite palette in my entire collection. I love the Escape Pod palette so much. So I have that one. I also had the Club Nebula palette, which was in collaboration with Angelica Nyquist, and this one is absolutely stunning as well. Unfortunately, it was limited edition, so you can't get it anymore, but if you have it, you know it is just an absolutely stunning palette. I recently picked up their Flower Punk palette, and this one is so, like, the packaging is so pretty, and it's really unique how it's like you can take the top off like that. But yeah, this color story is super unique, and I have only used it a couple times, but it's absolutely amazing, and I just love Kaleidos so much. I have 3 of their 6-pan palettes. So the first one is Futurism 5. This is the Electro Turquoise one, and it's probably my favorite of the 6 pans. I just think it's such a pretty color story, and the shimmers are so pretty. Next, I have the Lunar Lavender palette. This is Futurism 6. And I just love the packaging of everything from Kaleidos. It's so pretty. This one is so gorgeous, a very purpley palette, and the 2 shimmers in there are such pretty, like, duochromes. And then I have Sashimi City, which is Futurism 7, the most neutral, but it's still, like, far from neutral. Like, it's such a pretty palette. And those are all of my Kaleidos palettes. Next, I have one from Wet n Wild, and this is in the shade My Glamour Squad, and the packaging is like falling apart. You could see a chunk of plastic like fall out onto my desk that I wipe away. But the quality of the eyeshadows is really awesome, and it's a good dupe for the ABH Soft Glam. Next, I have 2 palettes from Makiage, and both were in collaboration with RICO Nasty. So this this is the LoFi palette, and it's absolutely just such a pretty color story. And then the next one is Neon Rage. And I love the color stories and the packaging and everything about these palettes, but the formula is just so odd, and I don't really use them very much, but I do love having them, and I think they are a really cool piece to have in my collection. Next, I have my ABH palettes. So I have Subculture, which I got when it came out, so it's very dirty and old and hard panned and not best, but I will never get rid of it because I just think it's so cool, and at the time it was released I just thought it was unlike anything I had ever seen before, so I love that one. I also have Soft Glam, which I got more recently. I got it about a year ago, and I think it's just so beautiful. It is just a great Soft Glam palette. Next, I have 3 of the little bento eyeshadow trios from Kaja. The first one I have is in the shade Orange Blossom, and it is my favorite of the 3. It's just so pretty. They're all shimmers, and they're just, every single shade is so pretty. I love this one. This is the shade Rosewater, and this one is really pretty as well. This one's also an all shimmer one. And then I have Smolder Season. This one is really pretty, and this one has 2 shimmers and 1 matte. But yeah, I love these, and I highly recommend them if you were thinking about trying them out. I think that they are stunning. I was struggling to open this one, but there you have it. And next I'm getting into my sort of higher end palettes. So I have a couple Natasha Denona palettes. The first one is the Bronze palette. I love this thing. This is one of my favorite palettes. I think it's absolutely stunning, and the formula is amazing. Like, ugh, it's just so good. Next, I have the Natasha Denona Glam palette. Both of these are her midi style, so they're in the $65 range, and those two have the most amazing formula, and just, I recommend them so much. This is the Sunset palette, which is her larger and more expensive palette, but I did get it on a more than 50% off sale. It is really pretty, but I will say I like the other 2 better, and the size and format of the other 2 better. I have one of her mini palettes, which is the Mini Retro, and I think this one is so unique and so pretty, and I really like it every time that I use it. I have one palette from Nebula. This is the Side by Side palette, and it's so pretty. The mattes in this one are so pretty. There's some topper shades, shimmer shades, like, there's just a lot of different textures and stuff, and it's just a very pretty palette. And next, I'm moving on to my Pat McGrath. I do have quite a bit of Pat McGrath, but it is one of my favorite brands. So the first one is the Celestial Odyssey. This was the 2021 holiday palette, and it's very large. It's the largest palette I own, but it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's mostly shimmer shades, which I don't mind at all. Next, I have one quad from her, and this is in the shade Voyeuristic Vixen, and it is so pretty. Every single shade in this palette is stunning. I really love this one. And then I have 4 Mothership palettes. So the first one that I have is Midnight Sun, and this one is so, I really like this one, especially that lower special shade in the very corner is so stunning all over the eye. I also have Utopian Dream. This is the most recent one, and this was actually the first one that I ever purchased. I love it so much. It's my favorite Mothership that I own, and one of my favorite palettes that I own. I picked up Bronze Seduction, which those last 4 shades are just the most beautiful things ever. This one is very good. And then the last Mothership I have is the first one. This is in the shade Subliminal, and it's my least favorite and my least used, but I definitely want to give it some more use to see what looks I can create. It is a very cool tone palette, so. This is one of her mini palettes. It's in the shade Mini Sublime, and I love it, especially those 2 that I pointed out. I use this mini palette a lot of days of the week for work. It's just very easy. Next, I'm going into my little eyeshadows. So I have 2 of these singles from Urban Decay. They are the Moon Dust formula. This is in the shade Solstice. It has a red base with like blue shimmer when it's on the eyes. It is so pretty. I get compliments every time that I wear it. And then next I have the shade Space Cowboy, which is a very famous shade. And it's just very pretty all over the eyes. I love those two a lot. And finally, I have all of my little e.l.f. bite-sized palettes. So that one is Hot Jalapeno. This one is Truffles. This is the shade Rose Water. Very Bad. This one is in Pumpkin Pie and then Cream and Sugar. I really like all of these, and I got them all for like 50% off, so they were like $1.50 each. So yeah, but this is my entire collection. Like I said at the beginning, I'll have all of them linked down below. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment, or if you'd like to see more in-depth videos about any of these, please let me know. And thank you so much for watching.